Welcome to the Thaumaturge Guild. It is fate that has guided your steps here, friend. Within these hallowed halls, the arts of devastation are taught, primeval magics with which to bring about an enemy's ruin. If you would join our ranks and wield the power of thaumaturgy, I urge you to seize this moment and confide in me your arcane ambitions.
Do you wish to join the Thaumaturge Guild?
Sure. Yes, there truly was no other answer, was there? Lean closer now, and I shall whisper to you of Thaumaturge's beginnings. The nation of Aldar inherited its traditions from ancient Beladia, a city founded by the descendants of the first mages. The secrets of these illustrious sorcerers were ultimately entrusted to the priests of the Order of Nalthal, who have passed them down from generation to generation ever since. Focused and refined over centuries of use in the Order's funeral rites, the arcane magics of our ancestors eventually emerged as the art we now know as thaumaturgy. A freezing blizzard to halt corruption, a raging fire to cleanse the corpse, a bolt of lightning to expel the sins of mortal life. The Dwemer employed in the preparation of the dead are equally efficacious when applied to the living. Thus does our guild thrive in the depths of Arzeth Ossuary, a sanctuary devoted to Thal, the divine arbiter of the afterlife. What say you then, adventurer, if you would plumb the abyssal depths of thaumaturgy, let our learned sages guide your descent? But before you leap into the darkness, you must prove to our guild masters that you are possessed of the spiritual fortitude necessary to look upon that which waits therein. When you are ready to submit to the judgment of our most eminent sages, say the word. Well, adventurer, will you join our guild, or do you presume to ignore the urgings of impatient destiny?
Yayaki wishes to reaffirm your desire to join the Thaumaturge Guild.
Sure. A wise decision indeed. To prepare your initiation, I would have you study the volumes of Fundamental Thaumaturgical Principle, all 108 of them. Or at least I would if such requirements have not been abolished. Too great a deterrent to fresh novices, they said. I suppose you shall just have to settle for calling upon the collective wisdom of our guild masters. We have 5, you see, all brothers of the same house. Though they all wield supreme authority, it is the eldest who provides a singular voice for the guild when one is required. Master Kokoboigo, I believe. What? Oh, those teeth, man! Did your mother never tell you to startle a thaumaturge? Look at that expectant face, Kobiogo. This gentleman is obviously a new applicant for our guild seeking audience with our eldest brother. Oh, Prelate Yayaki, she can recite all the 307 verses of our funerary rites and virtuous fallen, but the simple task of keeping our names straight seems ever beyond her grasp. Well, I for one find the constant confusion endlessly entertaining. My apologies, good sir. My merriment was not meant to mock your mistake. It is our sibling Kokobuki with whom you should speak. What's this? What's this? Thou has led to us a new aspirant. Ah, Kokobuki! Where were you? You were here the entire time? Greetings, child. I am Kokobuki, the eldest, and I would venture to say the wisest of the 5 masters of the Thaumaturge Guild. It is my solemn duty to furnish our would-be initiates with a succinct understanding of our beloved art. Thus, I would have your fullest attention. To wield thaumaturgy is to unleash devastation of the highest magnitude. The lethal force of our spells far exceeds the destructive capability of any other form of arcane manipulation. Fire, lightning, blizzards, somnolence. The thaumaturge calls upon an expansive arsenal of offensive incantations to incapacitate and obliterate all manner of adversaries. Open your mind to our sorceress teachings, and you too shall soon hold the unparalleled power of our discipline in the palm of your hand. Of course, such power has a price. You must be willing to plunge headfirst into the forbidding chasm of Thaumaturge's secrets, for advancement in this art comes only with the completion of deadly and terrible trials. I ask you now, aspirant, are you prepared to leap into the abyss in pursuit of power unrivaled?
Sure.
A confident response. Your name, if you will. Very well, Raid. Let us mark your initiation with 3 eminently practical gifts. My first gift to you shall be the addition to your hunting log, the names of such enemies that will provide suitable true training as a thaumaturge. The second and third gifts are the scepter and shield, instruments you shall need to focus this destructive force of your will. Did you believe your initiation over? My dear disciple, we've only just begun. Take your new weapons in hand, and I shall set you forth upon your first trial. Quick note, Black Mages, when Realm Reborn first came out, could equip both a two-handed version of the staff, like I'm wearing now, or they could do a one-handed version that you could also equip a shield with. After, I would even say, basically after a couple patches, they pretty much gave up the whole one-handed wand shield combo and went only two-handed staves, and have sent for pretty much the rest of the game. They don't do one-handed wands of shields anymore. Just in case you're wondering why he said, hey, here's a shield, here's a wand and a staff, and I have a two-handed, that's why. I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the two-handed, since that's the accepted norm now. So, just quick note. Anyway, Guildmaster Kokobuki wishes to test your limits of your thaumaturgical aptitude. The scepter well complements the avid desire of destructive power written upon your features. Now we shall complete your initiation with a trial to test the limits of your aptitude for channeling thaumaturgy. Huge hornets, star marmots, and snapping shrews inhabit this land in abundance. Exercise your sorceress might and slay 3 of each of these creatures before returning to my side. Ignore that. I don't know why it happened. I know why it happened. I didn't mean for it to happen. Alright, where's more stuff? Where's more stuff? You have the satisfied look of a mage who has utterly vanquished his foes, Raid. I formally welcome you into the Brotherhood of Thaumaturges. The purpose of this trial was to gauge your capacity for wielding thaumaturgy, an innate quality the limits of which are bound by the level of etheric energy flowing through your physical being. Aether, the very stuff of life, exists within all living creatures to a greater or lesser extent. Remember this, for it is the most basic law of arcane manipulation. As your experience grows, so shall your reserves of thaumaturgical endurance. The wellspring of your magical might will also swell in response to moments of extreme terror and duress. When you find yourself seeking greater challenge, when next you crave the thrill of exquisite fear, that is when you shall know the time has come for you to visit me once more. Blah, blah, blah. The threat of intimacy. Guildmaster Kokobuki wishes to draw you further into the abyss of thaumaturgy's secrets. Your burgeoning power strains against the confines of your untried mortal shell. Another trial you must have. From this day forth, your tasks and challenges will be shaped by the teachings found within Thaumaturgy, the Yawning Abyss, a tome penned by the renowned thaumaturge Zozomaya. My brothers, who have not once tasted the bitter draught of defeat, will instruct you on the vital lessons to be gleaned from the 4 extensive chapters that comprise this exemplary work. Much shall you learn about the threats which a practitioner of our arts must contend. The first chapter, The Threat of Intimacy, falls within Kokobago's purview. It is only fitting that one so adverse to being approached shall teach you the wisdom to be uncovered therein. Yes, Raid, I've been expecting you. Allow me to read you the pertinent passages from the opening chapter of Zozomaya's Guide. The Threat of Intimacy. Ah, how magnificent the potent power we wield. Roaring flames, piercing ice, and shocking bolts are matched not by fist or sword or spear. But the burly warrior waxes fearsome with every closing step. Fists shatter bone, blades slice through flesh, spears puncture soft bellies. Know you this threat, and stand you apart from such men. That last part makes me queasy no matter how often I recite it. The lesson, however, should be obvious. Keep your distance from your foes. Apart from the agony of being hit, or stabbed, or worse, you'll have a devil of a time completing an incantation with an enemy flailing his weapons at your person. Thus, the white thaumaturge always strikes from afar. The further, the better. Now, let us proceed with your trial. Take this dried fish and set it down in the vicinity of the Silver Bazaar. Next, simply draw back to a comfortable distance and wait for a vulture to swoop in to feed. That's when you ambush the nasty creature with a barrage of deadly spells. Once you have slain the scavenger, be sure to retrieve a generous slice of vulture meat for Fafanfono. He doesn't mind us conducting trials so close to his shop, so long as he's properly compensated. Yes, Raid, we pay him with sorcery-blasted bird flesh. No, God bless it.
Ah! Stop. Dried fish. The heat of the Thanalan sun only makes the odor of this long-dead wavekin that much more unbearable. That was so worth it. You're done making use of my testing grounds, are you? Cough up the fee, then. Vulture breast. Tender white meat suited for sautés. Tastes remarkably like chocobo. There's nothing so tender as a bit of meat pummeled with wanton wizardry. Nice doing business with you, Thaumaturge. Did you say Thaumaturge? Has this mage just completed a guild trial? Ah, Master Alchemist, what brings you to our bazaar this fine evening? The gentleman here just knew himself a plump vulture. You'd be surprised at how many of these scepter-wielding sorcerers end up sliced to ribbons by beak and talon. And that's not the sort of flesh I have a taste for, you understand. My brothers! Not again! Welcome back, Raid. You seem to have done well. Both eyes intact, face appears unshredded. It is truly a most terrible feeling to have one's casting interrupted by heinous injury. It's one of the easier trials, if you ask me. Keep well away from pointy, slashy, bashy things if you want to reach the end of arcane utterance. That's just common sense. Fortune favors the fighter who flings fire from afar. I simply love the look of loathing leveled at me by distant duelists distressed by my deadly downpour. We Thaumaturges excel at offense, but fail miserably at defense. Our most effective strategy is to topple our adversaries with overwhelming force before they have a chance to respawn. Honor is for knights and dead mages. Raid, your studies appear to be progressing nicely. It won't be long before you dominate the battlefield as an avatar of sorcerous destruction. So it's true, Pookie. Don't try to hide it from me, Boygo, or you, Bonnie, or Bezel, or Borha. Kukuboopsie, what are you doing here? You promised me you would teach me next. Well, yes, of course we did, but Raid here was most insistent. And once again you brush me aside in the hope that I abandon my heart's desire. Why do you deny me? I hate you! All of you! Please, Boosie, you should say such hurtful things. You know how delicate Boygo is. That was Coco Boosie, our youngest brother. He so dearly wishes to become a thaumaturge like the rest of us, but it simply isn't possible. The poor boy's etheric levels are pitifully low. We thought we had convinced him to accept fate's cruel quirks when he entered the Alchemist Guild, but yet he yearns to walk the path of thaumaturgy. Such is Kokobusi's determination that he spends all his waking moments experimenting with alchemical concoctions, seeking a method by which he can expand his capacity for arcane manipulation. Well, this is obviously not your concern. Back to the abyss with you, young Thaumaturge, and I mean that in the most encouraging manner possible. Guildmaster, threat of paucity? The Guildmaster Kokobuki wishes you to learn from the second chapter of Thaumaturgy, the Yawning Abyss. Yes, Raid, yes. The aura power surrounding you is palpable. That glare begins to blind my Thaumaturge's eye. Your lesson today shall be taught by Kukubani. Go to him and hear from the chapter entitled The Threat of Paucity. Aha! So, Raid, you have come to learn at the foot of the third eldest brother, have you? I promise, however, your education shall not be third-rate. Let us read from the second chapter, shall we? Are you settled? No last-moment trips to the privy? Very well. The threat of paucity. Ah, how magnificent the ruthless power we wield! Flame devours, ice entombs, and lightning courses through the stricken bodies of our foes. But oh, such desperation when the wellspring runs dry! Flame sputters out, ice melts to slush, and lightning sparks no longer. Know you this threat, and mind you the limits of your mortal vessel. A terrifying thought, isn't it? A thaumaturge who has exhausted his arcane reserves is not but a man with a stick and a funny hat. For we mages, you may as well equate the etheric energy flowing through our veins with our very lifeblood. Should a battle find us lacking in this precious resource, we are as good as dead. Controlling the expenditure of your power requires the understanding of etheric balance. The scales can tip in one or two directions, astrally or umbrally. When your mind and spirit lean in an umbral direction, your thaumaturgy is affected by a state known as umbral ice. The potency of your spells is diminished, but they also require less energy to invoke. On the other hand, a thaumaturge within the astral fire state will find the potency of his incantations enhanced, but as a greater cost to his etheric stamina. Now, with the concepts of etheric balance and efficient casting foremost in your mind, I bid you go forth and slay a deaths. Pray do your best to stay alive. It reflects badly on me when the mauled corpse of one of my pupils is returned to the ossuary. Ah, God, shit. Aha! You arrive before me upright and breathing. Wonderful! It is much simpler to pose questions to a student without having to resort to necromantic divination. Tell me, Raid, what action would you take if you found your thaumaturgical endurance exhausted in the midst of battle? Flee. Uh-huh. Most practical indeed. A discreet withdrawal to await the replenishment of your energies is a sound strategy, but should there be nowhere left to run, a vial of ether can be your stoutest ally. Ah, ether, the draught of the gods. We thaumaturges, indeed, anyone who practiced the arts of arcane manipulation, value this substance above all others. Thus, it was with unbridled fury that we received the most recent report of beastman activity. It seems an Almajal raiding party has attacked a caravan on the trade routes and made off with an entire crate of precious ether. The time has come for you to put your new knowledge to the test. Annihilate these Almajal bandits and retrieve the cargo of ether-filled vials. According to the report, their armored war transport was last spotted to the south of Drybone. And I believe Kokobuki has an additional request. While you are busy incinerating Almajal, be sure to collect some samples of their blood, assuming you can draw any from their smoking remains. Do the thing. Do I detect the scent of ether? And I trust that stench is Almajal blood. Ether crate. A sturdy wooden crate filled with bottles of ether and copious amounts of packaging hay. Almajal blood. The Malderous lifeblood is so dark and red it almost appears black. Oh, 10 vials? 20? 30! The sight of so much ether is just so very comforting. What have we here, Kokobane? Is this the crate that was stolen? I see Raid's lessons have had the desired effect. I will assume the vile viscous liquid that you have there is beastman blood. Kokobusi should be pleased. Kokobuki left word for me to visit the ossuary. Have you finally decided to begin my training in thaumaturgy? Ah, Kukubusi, good for you to come. Raid here was kind enough to obtain a supply of Almajar blood for you. An alchemical acquaintance of mine explained how you've been using the substance in your research to create a mana-amplifying elixir. Naturally, we are most interested in the results of such experiments. So you see, Busi, your work as an alchemist already puts you in a position to work alongside us. You need to become a thaumaturge to be part of our family. That's right. That's right, Busi. Besides, the battlefield is a dangerous place, and our skills are not exactly suited to keeping others safe from harm. I see. This is but another attempt to dissuade me from pursuing my true calling. I do not want to cheer you on from the safety of my workbench. I want to fight at your side. But, Busi, we just cannot stand the thought of you being harmed. Pray do not do anything foolish. I do apologize, brothers. I sometimes forget how difficult it must be not to have a natural aptitude for the arcane arts. As I mentioned before, Raid, Kukubusi is dangerously unsuited to the wielding of thaumaturgy. Even with the proper training, he would be unable to cast magics as we can. Were he to attempt to force a manifestation of power, the strain on his etheric reserves would likely kill him. But let us not dwell on this unpleasant circumstance, for you, on the other hand, are brimming with thaumaturgic potential. Remain diligent in your studies, and do not cease your efforts to expand your wellspring of power. Threat of superiority. Guildmaster Kokobuki urges you even deeper into the yawning abyss of thaumaturgy. Come, Raid, the yawning abyss beckons once more. Today, Kukubezi will instruct you in the chapter entitled The Threat of Superiority. You're come for your lesson, Raid. Then heed my words. The threat of superiority. Ah, how magnificent the intimidating power we wield! Flames sear the air, ice frosts the ground, and lightning flashes with blinding incandescence. But not all are cowed by our elemental fury. Ignite not your flames, summon not your ice, and strike not with your lightning. Know you this threat, and stay your hand against such foes. Once you cut away all the overblown imagery, the passage draws attention to an important tactic. A wise thaumaturge does not engage in battle against opponents he cannot defeat. A fine example would be avoiding conflict with Adol's multitude of furious merchants. These soulless, ravening creatures are afflicted with the madness of insatiable avarice. Do you perhaps recall the crate of Aether you retrieved from the Almajar bandits? Well, a number of irate peddlers have arrived at the guild with the goal to demand recompense for the measly vials we emptied as our just reward. All right, yes, we drank the whole entire bloody box. But the point is that the guild cannot presently afford to pay such a sum. Thus, I passed on to you the secret of my last and most potent defense. Shameless weeping. I'm not talking of a few tears here. I want you to stride right up to these tyrannical traitors and cry your eyes out. Thaumaturge, what manner of guild are you running here? Do you simply loot and pillage the goods of fine, upstanding citizens as you see fit? It's not that... Oh dear, I'm not angry at you, you understand? It's those 5 Aether-addled brothers I take issue with. You tell them the next time this happens, I'll have the price taken out of their unprincipled hides. Hey, you ether-swilling miscreant, where's the gil you owe me? All right, son. I know you're the one who chased down those Almanshah brutes for us. I'll let it go this one time, for your sake.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Did your mother never teach ye that a merchant's to be paid for his wares?
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go.
Well, you need to cry about a few vials of either, lad. I'll tell you what. You dry your tears for me, and I'll take care of the loss out of me own purse.
A masterful performance, Raid. The sniffling was a nice touch. You will, however, encounter foes who are unmoved by such piteous wailings. Take this recent request, for instance, which I have nominated to serve as your dex trial. A team of scholars has asked the Thaumaturge to destroy a cursed relic they unearthed known as the Mormo's Urn. While pottery is, by and large, immune to tears, it is the Alcarian thieves that subsequently stole it that concern me. The Alcaran are an organization of criminals not normally known for their gentle or understanding dispositions. Rather than attempting to engage an entire gang of their thugs, I would suggest you neutralize their threat to your person with a well-timed sleep spell. The Alcaran have been seen traveling in the southeast of Drybone. Find them and destroy the urn they carry. A moment, if you please. Pray allow me to shatter that urn. I thought if I assist you with your task, then my brothers might finally deign to take me seriously. So I followed you.
What we got here then? A couple of nosy sand rabbits that are about to get skinned.
Oh dear gods, where do they come from? I know Thaumaturge, but I still have my tricks. Are you injured? I have a salve for that. That was simply incredible, Raid. I wish I could wield the same sort of power. I became an alchemist in the hopes of creating some manner of mana-amplifying elixir, but all my efforts have been for naught. The results have been far too mild to make any difference. I'll never be a thaumaturge like my brothers at this rate. I'll forever be the pitiful, powerless little sibling. Mormo's urn. If I destroy it, then maybe my family will see what I'm capable of. Wait! Don't you dare break my urn! Ah! What the? Did that piece of pottery just talk? Are you Mormo the Void Scent? Well, yes, I am Mormo, but I'm one of the nice Void Scent. It was the nasty ones that sealed me up in here for helping a mortal. If you would be so kind as to open the lid of my urn, I would be happy to grant you a wish. Anything you desire. Fortune, fame. I'm not really interested in fame or fortune, but perhaps there is one thing. I'd like to have a third power to equal that of my brothers. Power, is it? A perfectly acceptable wish. In fact, I sense the latent ability big deep within your spirit. It would be a simple thing for me to turn it loose. What more is there to think about? Open the lid! Well, I don't feel different at all. I think Mormon may have been lying. Come, Ray.
It's time they were leaving. Oh, weren't we supposed to break this urn? And that is that. Yes, this will be such fun. I mean, it will be nice to return home after all this excitement.
I like how it's like, no, stop, wait. Whatever.
Welcome back, Raid. I'm glad to see you making a habit of not dying. Before we discuss your trial further, however, I would ask about Kukubusi. When I saw him but a few moments ago, he seemed odd. Well, odder than usual. Would you happen to know aught of it?
Kukubusi joined me at my trial.
Busi was at your trial?
It's an extraordinary, dangerous, and foolish thing to interfere with a thaumaturge's training. I shall have to scold him most heartedly. Such unpleasantness aside, I am impressed you claimed victory in spite of this unexpected development. Your teachings of the Yawning Abyss have served you well. With your experience and control thus demonstrated, I believe you are ready to add a new spell to your repertoire, Scathe. This elementally neutral blast of force will provide effective against all manner of opponents. As I am sure you are eager to test this incantation's efficiency, I shall grant you leave to return to your training. I pity the next hostile creature that crosses your path. Guildmaster Kukubuki wishes you to learn from the next chapter of Thaumaturge the Yawning Abyss. Oh, right, the threat of perplexity. Raid, you're safe! I feared you had fallen victim to the Mage Slayer. Have you not heard of the recent spate of gruesome killings taking place within Uldar? Each case involves at least one dead thaumaturge, and every corpse is found bloody, spattered, and utterly drained of etheric energy. Ill tidings aside, I am glad to see you alive and glowing with vitality. It is time for you to delve into the final chapter of the Yawning Abyss. Kokoboha, our second youngest sibling, will read to you from the threat of perplexity. Greetings, Raid. Are you once again prepared to peruse the pages of power and peril? Then let us begin. The threat of perplexity. Ah, how magnificent the daunting power we wield. Flames pursue, ice transfixes, and lightning dances into the ranks of our enemies. But what terror descends when from all sides those ranks close? Flames are smothered, ice crushed, and lightning grounded. Know you this threat, and wear you the multitudinous foe. Is the point of the passage readily apparent? It would be the most problematic, for example, should you meet this mythic mage slayer and he, or she, proves to be multiple murderers. What a thaumaturge needs is a thick-set thrall, a courageous companion to accompany them in cases where collective cronies are expected. Now, as for your trial... Kukuboha, pray allow me to suggest a practical course for Raid's training. Oh, it's that guy. Whoops. Stupid names.
The town is buzzing with the news of yet more slaughtered thaumaturges, with their mutilated bodies found fouling the waters of Nafika's wells. I would have Raid aid me in hunting down the culprit while the trial is yet fresh. Raid may have tolerated your interruption of his trial the last time, Pussy, but you're hardly the hardy henchman he needs to clear such a hazardous hurdle. Your concerns are understandable, brother, but if you would lay your fears, I can introduce Raid to a valiant warrior who recently entered my employ. You have secured the services of a stalwart swordsman? Then that would indeed be in line with learning the lesson of today. Perhaps. Come now, Raid. Let us be about our business before Kokoboha has a change of hearts. I'll be waiting for you in Nafika's wells.
Was that Kokobusi?
Ah, Raid, so good of you to come. My Rogadin friend here is the warrior I mentioned back at the ossuary. Now, there's no time to waste. Why don't you head into the stream and examine the bodies of slain mages? I would go with you, but my delicate stomach, I fear I might contaminate the scene. Remember, you're looking for anything that might help us track down this killer.
Lollipop promised me a circuit guild to do what I do best, and that's keeping all the attention on me.
Did you uncover anything incriminating? Bloody scepter. The blood smeared about the head is still sticky to the touch. Shredded tome. This book appears to have been torn apart with something sharp like a claw. Bloody bracelet. So much blood covers this piece of jewelry that it is impossible to tell from what it is made. The blood is yet slick to the touch. The slaughter must have been recent indeed. The villain may yet still lurk by. Return to the creek where the bodies lay, and linger for a time. I dare say your aura, saturated as it is with enticing etheric energy, will lure out the mage slayer into the open. Have courage, Raid. Our burly companion stands ready to leap to your aid.
Ah, the demon shows its claws!
I'll keep it busy. Just focus on magicking. Put the big bugger to sleep. I can't take on all three at once. That takes care of that. I'm off to collect me coin. Seems your partnership with a higher blade went splendidly. It is unfortunate, though, that one of the imps was able to flutter away. Oh, did you not notice? You wouldn't wish to report to Kukuboha that your trial but half finished, would you? Of course not. I'm afraid, however, that the Rodigidin has already collected his recompense and departed for the nearest alehouse. What to do, what to do? Surely a thaumaturge of your caliber can handle a single imp, yes? If I'm not mistaken, it fled into that little cave over there. Hurry now, before it slips away into some hidden nook or cranny. This is not Kukubusi. Well, it is Kukubusi, but a Kukubusi possessed by the void scent that escaped from Mormo's urn. It was feeding on the etheric energy of all those slain thaumaturges. And you, my dear mana-rich Raid, were to be next! I have wanted to absorb your delicious power since the moment we met. A pity. This has been such an amusing charade. However, did you see through it? I am Kukubusi's brother. How could I not? It is time I destroyed you, Mormo, and put a stop to these sinister killings. As the eldest, I must take responsibility for my family's misadventures. A coward like you? Destroy me? Your opening strike should have pierced my heart, but instead you aimed for the knife! Fear stays your hand. Fear that slay me will also slay your sibling.
poor, spineless Thaumaturge. I shall, however, leave you with a pleasant thought. It was Kukubusi's fervent wish to amass this power. He craved the arcane strength to stand beside his brothers as an equal. What a shame that he must now stand against you! It pains me to admit, but there is some truth to that creature's words. I surrendered the perfect opportunity to end this. I've betrayed my own teachings. Return to the ossuary and report the completion of your trial, Raid. I will remain here for a time and gather my thoughts. Raid, Kukabuki advised me to your adventures. Seems that the Mage Slayer slithered away, but your stint with the swordsman was nonetheless successful. Consider this chapter complete. Your time with our tome of teachings is at an end. Well, to be perfectly accurate, there is an addendum with additional advice, but Kukabuki considers it extracurricular. Even I dare not delve into those diabolical depths. I do not yet deign to die, you understand. I have yet to inform my brothers of Kukabusi's misfortune. I have yet to reconcile the maelstrom within my own mind. The most fundamental lessons of thaumaturgy demand I slay the creature where it stood. It was the most opportune moment to strike. Minimal risk, and victory all but assured. How many more will suffer my hesitation and my cowardice? It will likely be some time, however, before Mormo resurfaces to kill again. Now that we have uncovered the deception, the Void Scent will seek a new hunting ground where Kukabusi's face is unknown. And though the respite may be brief, I must devote this time to considering my next course of action. Pray lead me to my musings, Raid. The Hidden Chapter. Guildmaster Kokobohigo wishes to enlist your assistance. Ha! Raid, I saw you're coming this time. I've been more watchful since Kukabuki told us about that dreadful business with Kukubusi. We must locate our unfortunate younger sibling as soon as possible and deal with him. But Kukabuki is not his usual unflappable self. It frightens me to see our eldest so indecisive. Terrifies me, in fact. Perhaps you might speak with him and help banish this air of uncertainty. Raid, long have I agonized over Kukubusi's plight, and the measures I might take to extricate him from it. It would not do to call upon my thaumaturge colleagues. No, they would simply seek to obliterate my brother outright. Our teachings from the Yawning Abyss allow for no other alternative. There is, however, one tiny glimmer of hope. I have had word with the scholars who requested the destruction of Mormo's urn, and have returned from their I have had word that the scholars who requested the destruction of Mormo's urn have returned from their expedition. They are currently in Camp Drybone, blowing the ink dry on the collective findings regarding that wretched void scent. I would ask that you go to these experts of otherworldly phenomena and beg their permission to peruse their work.
If you seek definitive work on Mormo, then seek no further. I've penned an in-depth analysis of a most cunning ritual, a method contrived by the mages of Eld to annihilate the soul of this especially potent void scent. When it comes to draining such a creature of its etheric energies, one must. But I have not the time to stand here explaining the intricacies of shaping arcane pottery. Yeah, take my chapter and read it at your leisure.
You're interested in reading our Book of Mormo?
Of course. It would be a pleasure to share our findings with a fellow student of the Void Scent. Here's the first chapter, mine own humble contribution to our research. It tells the tale of how we became aware of the creature's existence. It delves into the nature of the urn that imprisoned her fell power.
Here. Oh, for crying out loud. Hello? Don't mind me, just coming through with a chocobo. This other one. Where is it? There it is.
You wish to learn of Mormo, right this instant. But we barely... How did you... Well, I suppose I could spare a copy of my writings. I've already prepared several extra sets to share with potential publishers. I can well understand your curiosity. Mormo is truly fascinating, even among the oddities of the Void Scent. She is far too powerful to make use of the tiny holes that open between our realities, and thus must send across only her spirit to possess a corpse or some other suitable host. You'll find it all explained there in the second chapter.
Do you have the 3 chapters of the Book of Mormo? Book of Mormo, a scientific study on the characteristics of the void scent seductress known as Mormo. The histories unearthed in the ruins of Sildar depict the suffering wrought by a singularly powerful void scent, the cunning and terrible seductress known as Mormo. With genius born of desperation, the mages of the now-fallen city fashioned an urn that would drain and imprison the etheric vitality of any creature that laid a hand or claw upon it. Mormo, believing she was receiving a gift of appeasement from the beleaguered citizens, found her very essence drawn forth and trapped within the ensorcelled pot. Over the course of several centuries, the captive etheric energy was intended to weaken and dissipate, allowing any surviving descendants to safely shatter the urn and thus destroy Mormo's enervated spirit. The pot's lid was never to be opened again. To do so would release the ravenous void scent, freeing her soul to enslave the nearest mortal vessel. As possession of this nature is irreversible, the only mercy afforded such a host should be a swift and decisive demise. This explains Mormo's fixation on Thaumaturge's side. Kukubusi's body provided little arcane sustenance from the weakened void scent, forcing her to prey upon richer sources of aether to restore her hideous power. This morsel of information may prove most vital. In fact, it may be the only glimmer of hope our poor sibling has. Pray hand this work over to Kokoboigo. I shall be along momentarily.
This work is devoted to studying that nasty void scent. I should hope it provides some hint of salvation. Kukabuki, these passages hold naught but misery and despair. It seems we have little choice but to employ our traditional approach.
Through fraught with danger, there is one solution that promises an alternative to killing Kukubusi. If we fail, however, it would likely mean death for us all.
Who is this mad mage that poses as our elder brother? What of avoiding the threats, of eliminating the risks? Is that not how we thaumaturges do battle? With each passing moment, Mormo draws ever closer to her full strength. It pains me to even suggest it, but we should strike now, Kukabuki, while the void sin is yet feeble. I share the self-same sentiment. Sorrowful though it may be, we must slay our enslaved sibling, and soon.
Listen, brothers, for my solution is thus. In return for releasing Kukubusi from Mormo's thrall, I shall offer the void scent the chance to glut herself on my mana.
You cannot! The succubus will drain you to a lifeless husk, and such a feast will awaken all her terrible magics.
The well of my power is vast. I wager Mormo's thirst will be slaked before my spirit fully runs dry. And the newly enlivened void scent? She will then face the combined wrath of Raid and 4 guildmasters of Thaumaturgy.
How can we hope to prevail against this paragon of preternatural potency? We have always avoided adversaries against whom we had held no advantage.
The fault lies with me. Even have I incurred such avoidance and taught only the wisdom of certain victory. It is time we learned the courage to fight battles of unsure outcome. And it is you, Raid, that I ask to instruct us. There is yet one chapter left in the yawning abyss, one that is customarily hidden from newer members. Untake the trial found within, and show my brothers what it means to be brave.
How can you ask such a thing of poor Raid when even his guildmasters have yet to attempt that ghastly test?
The arcane might you all possess is far greater than you believe. Raid, once you deem yourself prepared for the lesson of the true final chapter, meet us in the hallowed hall of Fall's Respite.
always thought that the trial of the hidden chapter was to avoid taking the trial of the hidden chapter. Raid, why are you talking to me? You should... Oh, the trial has yet to begin. Of course. I knew that. There's still time to flee, you know. That's what I would do. Do you truly intend to undertake this torturous test? Are you not terrified?
I regret having to drag you into our family's troubles, but I am confident that, with the many and terrible trials you have bested already, you will prevail once more. The hidden chapter of the Yawning Abyss presents a trial that challenges the accumulated knowledge and skills of a single thaumaturge. You must employ all the tools at your disposal if you hope to seize victory this day. Let the trial commence! There is no escape from the abyss. The void spills into our realm on wings of inky shadow.
Oh, Steve, I can barely watch!
Raid, try to keep your blood inside your body! Oh, I killed that one. Okay. Catch your breath while you can. The next threat is at hand. The rift into the void ever widens. The dross of the abyss takes shape.
Destroy them swiftly, lest you perish in such saturated silence.
Once again you defy the void. The final nightmare approaches. The jagged gate is wrenched open. The Florida flies cometh!
I can't stop shaking. But I think this might actually be excitement.
Do you see now, my brothers? With the primal energies of thaumaturgy at your command, there is no threat that which you cannot overcome.
Perhaps there is a chance to save Kokobushi. I need to reconsider some of my strategies. It seems we have been wasting our potential. I would have never believed it possible for a mage to show such courage and live. What a wonder Raid was. I feel my fingers itching to fling fire with a fury.
Imagine, my siblings, what towering enemies you might topple should you stand firm, together. Thank you, Raid. Your inspiring display of magecraft has set the minds of my brothers reeling with new possibilities. Let us now return to the guild and discuss what is to come. What a formidable team you shall all make. Kukubago, Kukubani, Kukubezi, Kukuboa, Raid. Even Mormo must wither before the onslaught of your combined thaumaturgy. But before we engage the Void Sent, perhaps some time is needed for my brothers to unlearn their ingrained inclinations. Meanwhile, I suggest you hurl yourself into the chasm of your studies. Your fearless thaumaturgy is a beacon to us all. Facing your demons, Guildmaster Kukubuki wishes to enlist your aid in tracking down Kukubusi. Fortune has favored us, Raid. Kukubusi has been spotted at Vespa Bay. We cannot let this opportunity pass us by. Head there with all due haste, and with you take these descriptions of my brother's likeness to Mormo's mannerisms. Relay this information to some of the local residents and see what you can find.
Something I can do for you, stranger.
Kukubusi report. This square parchment contains information on Kukubusi the Cross.
Now that you mention it, I did see a Lollafell who matches his description. He was watching the ferries come in with more than a passing interest, looking to hire some adventurers or some such, I reckon. What's that, son? You say you're looking for someone? I believe I saw your Lollafell in company of a couple of adventurers hailing from Limson Laminsa, Marauder and the Thaumaturge, where I hazard to guess. I think they were talking about seeing the area north of here.
Where is it? There you are. Welcome to the Pissed Paste. Love, what can I get ye? Information, is it? That little bloke was in here, bringing a blush to all the young maidens' cheeks. But he lacked in height. He certainly made up for boldness. That's with more than one lass on his arm, he did.
So Momo has chosen this as her new hunting ground.
Maidens seduced by the succubus will be prepared as vessels to hold her fully restored power. I fear they will have already been slain. As for the adventurers, well, I think you can imagine what Mormo intends for the Thaumaturge. We must find and warn those unwitting Laminsons before the void scent strikes again. You were told that they might be headed north, yes? It would be best for you to follow suit.
Hey, whoops. Other way. Still here. It's still here. Somewhere close. Thanks, lad. Me head. A little bastard said he'd give us the grand tour of Ulda. It's been grand, all right. Please. He took me mate farther north. Think he was muttering something about Moondrip.
Raid, what has befallen?
I sense the presence of void scent, but it appears you have things well in hand.
Mormo and Moondrip, fitting place for the battle to come.
It is time to finish this, my brothers. Kokabusi will be a slave to that fiend no longer.
I shall approach Morma first, as we discussed. If the bargaining proceeds smoothly, and the void scent feasts on my proffered mana, then she should soon manifest in her demonic form. Once Mormo is fully present within this realm, that is when you unleash the seething power of the abyss. Through after lecturing for so long on how a thaumaturge should avoid such threats, I yet hold doubts to whether such a direct conflict is the correct path. Raid, in your experience, what do you consider to be a thaumaturge's greatest strength?
Overwhelming destructive might.
Yes. There are none who can match our propensity for fiery ruin. We need not run from danger, but rather employ unraveled powers to incinerate all that seek to do us harm. I am decided. My fate awaits me. I have faith that, no matter what becomes of me, you shall succeed in destroying Mormo, ending her threat to this realm. Enough, Mormo! Well, if it isn't the eldest of the cowardly Thaumaturge brothers. I thought you'd be busy wintering under your bed wishing that I'd just disappear! I've come to offer you a deal. I know you seek the etheric energy needed to substantiate your true form. But how much time do you intend to waste feeding on these lesser mages? Compared to these stripling sorcerers and their trembling arcane flames, my power is a blazing sun. Would you not prefer to take what I can give you? Drain my strength and assume your rightful appearance. I'm sure you think me a coward, but that is of no consequence. I only wish Kokobusi returned to us unharmed.
You are wise to acquiesce, mage. At last, my true body, my true power is mine once more. I believe a stretching of the old arcane muscles is in order. Oh, no, you don't, Void Scent. We won't let you leave here alive. So you risk your lives at a valiant rescue attempt. You should not bet what you are not prepared to lose. I shall tear the ether from your very marrow. Your screams are my sustenance. I'll keep Mama focused on me. Stay well back. I shall lend Kokoboigo my support. My thaumaturge shall rend the very air. Frightened? Ha! I fried fiends for fun. It's all coming back to me. Why don't you all come a little closer? What in the name of the gods was that? Intimacy! She weaves our threats as spells! My spells were silenced, but we must master our magics. Let's all keep calm now. She seeks to perplex and confound us. Resilient little narcissist! Our stones shall drink of your blood! She conjures minions from the void! Yes, I dreamed of escape. I will not be denied. We won? We won! Victory is ours! Kokabushi! Kokabuki! Mohomo is dead! What? Where am I? Thank Thal you're awake, Kokabuki. Kokabushi is returned to us. Kokabuki. Yeah. Kokabuki! Kokabushi is returned to us!
These names, man.
Ah, our sibling has yet to stir from his somnolent stupor. Buki? His etheric channels are contracted. They are barely sufficient to sustain the flow of his life force. If we do not increase his capacity for either soon, his vitality will drain away completely. My mana amplifying potion. Its potency is limited, but it just might be enough.
I see the battle is ended, as I expected.
You did it, Kokabushi! Your alchemy saved him! And we wouldn't have prevailed without you, Raid! We will bear our brother back to the ossuary. Pray meet us there where we might properly express our gratitude. Thank you, Raid. After seeking refuge in the comforting shadows of the abyss for so long, I had lost sight of the blazing glory of which thaumaturgy is capable. The raw power and audacity of your magecraft has freed my brothers and me from our self-imposed cowardice. I thought Thal himself had his fingers up my throat, but the sensation of hard-won supremacy is strangely satisfying.
As for you, Kokabushi, you are our brother and our respected colleague.
I had hoped to never again underestimate the precious power you yield. Raid, you have exceeded my expectations. In recognition of your outstanding growth as a thaumaturge, I shall impart to you one of the guild's most closely guarded techniques. Mana Word. It is a defensive weaving of energies that blunts the force of any attack made against you. I am sure you can understand why we do not teach the secret to every stray hedge wizard that chooses to join our ranks. Now that you have experienced the deadly threats and the joy that comes from their obliteration, I am certain you are eager to explore just how deep you might descend into the chasm of thaumaturgy. May your struggles bring wisdom, and your wisdom bring courage. I, for one, look forward to hearing of your future thaumaturgical endeavors.